A good itinerary covers all the attractions you could wish for and then some. The best itinerary does all the above but does it in a way your travels are as smooth as can be. I am Lucia, I live in Rome, and this Rome itinerary minimizes the travel between the attractions and allows you to see the most in the shortest amount of time. I'll show you how you can cover all the major attractions of Rome in a trip that gives you your money's worth, all the while being fun at it. To start with, let's set off on our adventure across Rome from Piazza Venezia. From Piazza Venezia, all Rome lies before you like a carpet, and is a fabulous piece of Rome you must cover in your travel plans. This huge colossal marble is called Il Vittoriano, also known as Altare della Patria, that is, the altar of the fatherland. Built at the turn of the 20th century to honor Italy's first king of unified Italy, Vittorio Emanuele II. From the outside, the building looks as if it was carved from marble. From the inside, you can see everything you wanted to know about modern-day Italy. All said, starting your travels from Piazza Venezia is bound to both connect you with the history of the modern Italian state, as well as give you a taste of the grandness of scale that is modern Italia. Literally next door to Piazza Venezia is Piazza del Campidoglio. I placed this spot second in the itinerary because where Piazza Venezia is all about modern Italy, Piazza del Campidoglio is all about ancient Rome. Here it all starts with the staircase to the 7 founding hills that are tied to the origin myth of Rome. According to legend, ancient Rome was founded by the 2 twin brothers Romulus and Remus on the 21st April 753 BC. Who were raised by the she-wolf, also known as the Capitoline wolf. The legend claims that in an argument over who would rule the city and where the city would be located, Romulus killed Remus and named the city after himself, hence the current day name Rome. That being said, ancient Rome's legends are not all that are to be found here. For one, the square itself was designed by Michelangelo. An equestrian statue of the Emperor Marcus Aurelius is situated prominently in the square. The pair of Renaissance palaces in the square are the perfect finish to your visit to this part of Rome. An hour or two spent among the museum artifacts and art pieces, and the itinerary is set for the day. Just off the stairs of the Piazza Venezia and a few minutes away is Via dei Fori Imperiali. This is a grand road leading towards the Colosseum. This road takes you for quite a ride because it crosses the Trajan Forum, the Forum of Nerva, and the Forum of Augustus. If you're lucky well in this part of Rome, you might witness the discovery of an artifact just uncovered by a jubilant archaeologist. If you have time, you should get the ticket and enter the Forum of Trajan and explore the museums of imperial forums to see any of a number of artifacts uncovered through the ages. Otherwise, you can simply admire the remains from the streets. Just a hop and a skip off from Via dei Fori Imperiali is the Colosseum, the ancient world's largest amphitheater where it hosted ancient gladiator fights between men and wild beasts, and even mock naval battles were held as the arena could be flooded. The good thing about the tickets here is they also offer tickets that cover the Colosseum underground, the Palatine Hill, and the Roman Forum. Be careful in this area around the Colosseum as it's usually crowded and there are lots of pickpockets and scammers. The Palatine Hill and the Roman Forum are the old parts of Rome. In fact, they are the oldest parts of Rome if you do not count the Colosseum. Here you get to see life as it was back in ancient times through the buildings that house the government offices of the powerful. Plus, the palaces in this part of Rome are the homes that used to house the very same with the temples and other important buildings all around this area. There is a great terrace overlooking the Roman Forum, giving you a bird's eye view of life as it was back in the day. The Ark of Constantine is another marvel to be seen. It is right between the Palatine Hill and the Colosseum. Another attraction that is right on your way is the Circus Maximus, the ancient chariot racing stadium that will double as an entertainment venue and religious place of celebration. Different from the others is the Spanish Steps, the widest, longest, and the most popular staircases in Europe. The Spanish Steps are 135 steps built in the 1700s to connect the French church up the stairs and the Spanish embassy at the end of the Spanish square, hence the name Spanish Steps. Here's the thing with the Spanish Steps, it's pretty crowded almost all year round, but if you wake up early, you'll be able to enjoy this view. I have a complete video giving you the history of everything you need to know about the history of the Spanish Steps, the boats down below, the church, up the stairs, and everything around this grand area of Rome. If you're lucky to find yourself in this part of Rome in April, these stairs are beautifully lined with azaleas to mark spring and Rome's birthday. Close by, barely 10 minutes away, is the Trevi Fountain from the 1700s as well, the most famous fountain in Italy. The Trevi Fountain is a work of magnificent creation. It is set right up against a palace and features numerous statues, including the Roman god Oceanus at the center. Legend has it that if you toss a coin into the fountain, you will return to the eternal city of Rome. If you toss 2 coins, you will return and fall in love. And tossing 3 coins means you'll return to Rome, find love, and marry. I kid you not, I did all 3 tosses and here I am years later living in the eternal city. Luck or no luck, your money goes to a good cause. Check out my complete historical video on the Trevi Fountain, from where they get their water, who built it and why, and just where they take all these coins. Next up will be the Pantheon, a religious historical building that has served as a church, a stark contrast to many of the ancient structures we see today. It used to be free to enter, but now with just €5 you can see this iconic wonder. As a place of worship, cover up and get there early to avoid the crowds. Piazza Navona is barely 5 minutes from the Pantheon, and like the Pantheon, the evolution of its history is both great and interesting. Piazza Navona used to be a stadium where gladiator fights were held before time turned it into the longest square in Rome. Several artists placed their mark on the square, building 3 beautiful fountains that everyone traveling to the site enjoys today. Not to mean that the stadium is all gone today. Underneath the square lies the Stadium of Domitian, where you can still walk the ancient columns that made up the ancient stadium. If you cross the Tiber River 10 minutes away, you will find yourself at Castel Angelo. The walk up to the castle is scenic, with the entire walkway lined with statues of angels. Beginning life as a mausoleum, with time it turned into a military fortress by the popes of Rome. The castle was later constructed to tie to the Vatican Palace, the repository of one of the world's largest collection of artifacts. One of these artifacts is the Sistine Chapel ceiling, an art piece by the great renowned artist Michelangelo. While still in the Vatican City, St. Peter's Square ought to be your next stop. The square is a charming place to stand within. The massive colonnades, the travertine limestone paving on the square grounds, and the great Egyptian obelisk right in the middle of the square all create a grand atmosphere of grace and reverence for all visitors. Despite the long queues you can expect, The interior of the Basilica is not just grand, it is the most fantastic creation of art, architecture, and religious iconography in the Christian world. Simply climbing St. Peter's Dome to gaze out at Rome from the top is itself a huge draw for most tourists. Entrance fee is free, meaning there will be crowds. A tip will be to visit very early in the morning or late in the afternoon just before they close. During the day, especially during summer, the sun hits really hard. Watch my full video for the tips to climbing up to the dome of St. Peter's Basilica, link in the description below. All in all, a good travel plan for the city of Rome should account for maybe 3 days to cover all the major places I selected. I suggest booking ahead, especially where the tickets can be found online. Check out my video for the free places to visit in Rome. I'll leave it in the description, and if you have more free days in Rome, I curated a list of beautiful places you can visit around Rome, video in the description below. That's it for today, and I hope you have a wonderful travel across Italy. I have covered many travels in Italy up on my channel. Please like and subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you in the next travel destination.